Someone says, who is the GOAT in your opinion?
Who is the GOAT of in boxing period?
Yeah, I guess.
And who is the GOAT? I mean, you're looking at the GOAT. You know, when my career ends, that's what it's gonna look at. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've knocked out every fighter I've faced. Every fighter I've faced have tasted sweet canvas. And what more can you ask for from a fighter than knocking somebody out, putting them on the canvas? You know what I mean? That's what we thrive off of. That's what fans come to see. You know what I mean? They come to see someone get their brains knocked out of their heads, and how does it? And I sleep good doing it at night as well. You know, I love to see fighters, you know, go back to their family and stuff, but people got to understand, like, this is a gladiator sport. This is not a please don't hurt me too bad sport. This is I'm trying to knock your ass out to the point of maybe even death type of shit. And I know a lot of in this sport, we know many guys have faded away in this sport. 3 of them has already this year. So, you know, people got to understand, like, this sport right here is a sport that you cannot play. This is not the play sport. If you want to play something, you better go pick up a basketball or anything that's dealing with some type of ball. Because this right here, when you strap up them gloves, it's go time, baby. Especially when you get in the ring with me.
Those are the words from Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Deontay Wilder declares himself the GOAT. You gotta love him. Now, his reason is behind it is, you know, he says by the end of his career, he says you're looking at the GOAT, but by the end of his career, you know, people want to see guys' heads and brains knocked out. This is not a play sport. He went on to say there's already been 3 guys that faded away this year in the ring, which was, I feel, below the belt. I had to counterpunch that. That's below the belt. That's a touchy subject. We're still in this year. This is November of this year. We're still here, but that's a touchy subject. You know, you don't want to talk about that. But he said that, to be fair, he did say that to make a point, you know, that this is not a play sport. Pick up a ball, do something else, but this is something that you don't play. Now, Deontay Wilder being the GOAT, I think this is a very, very, very bold statement that he made. And I understand he said that it's about confidence instead of cockiness, because he also said that in this. I'll leave the link below so you guys can check out the interview yourself. But I feel that Deontay Wilder, if he believes that he's the GOAT right now, he has a lot of catching up to do. Because if you're the GOAT, he said by the end of his career. I think he worded that wrong, honestly. I mean, hell, he words a lot of shit wrong. Let's be real. But I think he should have said by the end of my career, which he did, but then I'm the GOAT. No, by the end of my career, I may be the GOAT. If I go knock out Fury, then I take on Dillian White, then I knock out Chisora, then I take on Joshua at some point, then I put it to Andy Ruiz. You're cutting off every end or every possibility for someone to say that you were the GOAT, if you think about it. The problem is that how his career was managed. I always believed Deontay Wilder's career was managed wrong. They held him, they forsaked him from having certain fights that gave him that star power that he needed. You know, that type of notoriety to be put in that light, or the argument that he is the greatest of all time. Now, he is a heavyweight, people. Heavyweights have nowhere to go. The only thing a heavyweight can do is fight and bring on all contenders, champions, ex-champions, etc. All the badasses, all the people that want to be on the top of the hill. That's what you need to do. He needs to have, if Deontay Wilder says that he's the GOAT, someone like Roy Jones Jr., someone like Muhammad Ali, someone like that wants to prove fight after fight that he's the best, he needs to fight all these guys that says they can beat him, that thinks they can beat him, that wants to fight him. No Staverns, and I don't want to see another Ortiz 3 if he beats Ortiz. That's just stupid. That's just showing us that your advisor or your promoter, Al Heyman, doesn't want to fight with certain fighters. Therefore, he wants to put you back in the same ring. Al Heyman, if that happens, he's doing more of that Bob Arum shit back in the day like they used to do at Pacquiao. Well, Pacquiao couldn't fight the Garcias, the Sean Porters, the Keith Thurmans. He couldn't fight those guys, the Matisses. He couldn't fight those guys until he left Bob Arum. Okay? But what did Bob Arum have him doing? Fighting Marquez 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's crazy. Timothy Bradley 3 times. Dude, that's 7 fights. Right? So, and don't get me wrong, Pacquiao fought and beat a lot of those Hall of Fame fighters. A lot of those Hall of Fame fighters. And a lot of other good fighters that weren't Hall of Fame fighters. But in Deontay Wilder's predicament with his promotional company, these guys, he can't let these guys talk him into fighting these guys over and over and over again. He shouldn't be fighting Tyson Fury, honestly. He should be fighting Dillian Whyte. He should have fought Tyson Fury on down the line. That fight wasn't a massive fight. It wasn't. The buildup was great. But was the fight massive? No. People really didn't buy it. They illegally streamed it. They watched it for free. Okay, so it wasn't one of those things. It's not Anthony Joshua Ruiz 2. It's nothing like that. And I support all boxing as a whole. But at the end of the day, he's claiming to be the GOAT. He needs to do some GOAT shit. He needs to do the thing what the greatest of all time would do. Plain and simple. He's undefeated, but he can't start doing what Mayweather started to do when he started to call himself TBE. He needs to start being that person, like I said, like Roy, and start fighting everybody. If he believes in Shelly Finkel, he should follow the Shelly Finkel plan. You know what the Shelly Finkel plan is? Beat all of Eddie Hearn's heavyweight fighters and shut down Matchroom. That's Shelly Finkel's evil plan. For that, because he has a disdain for Eddie Hearn, right? And if Deontay Wilder, if he wants to use Deontay Wilder for that reason, you got to fight all those guys. Dillian Whyte, Chisora, Joshua, Ruiz, that's on his side of the street. Usyk, right? He has to fight all those guys. All of them. And then he may have an argument and it would seem legitimate. And I would have no problem with himself calling himself that, because in the last 3 years, he's improved his resume by 200%. If he fought those type of fights, Adam Kalnaki, he's a good fighter. He beat Charles Martin. He kind of reminds me of Andy Ruiz, but a little bigger and a little slower. But I see him knocking him out, because he doesn't have the defense, just like Dominic Brazil, right? So for Deontay to say that, sure, confidence is great, And one thing I'll add to this, in favor of Deontay Wilder, they asked him in this interview. This is a pretty good interview. They asked him, did you feel bad about knocking out Stavern the way he did? He said, absolutely, not one bit. And I can dig that. You know why? Because Stavern talked so much garbage. The dude talked like, I'm going to kill you. I could kill you in the ring. He just talked. And you know what? Deontay Wilder didn't say anything. I hope the best man win. Ain't that right, Steve? That's all he said. And when first round came, Deontay Wilder he looked treacherous. And he knocked Stavern out. Okay? Why? Because Stavern let his mouth write a check that his ass couldn't cash. Now, that was priceless. I think I did a video about that. But That's an example of what he mentioned in this. And yeah, you don't go in there in a gladiator sport talking all this, that, and the other, and then not be prepared to do what you say you're going to do. But then again, if someone's saying that he's going to kill you, yeah, knock him out and put him out of his misery. Show him what he's not going to do. That was classic. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Deontay Wilder calling himself the greatest of all time. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.